Hey everyone, Ryan here. I thought I would do another Biomutant reaction video here for you. This is covering the gameplay preview or game preview that GameInformer did the other day. I figured that this was a good format to cover this newest information because it's a lot faster to get out there, and also I think you can readily just access this information either way. So me splicing it up, summarizing it is not really useful to you at this point. I figured we would just experience all the information together. So here we are, we're going to watch this final preview. I'm going to react to it. We're going to talk about it here and there. I'm going to do pauses and stops like we did the other day. I hope you like it. Of course, if you want to watch it without me talking, then you can, of course, just head down to the description. Well, I will have the link to the video, or just search it on YouTube, and it'd be like one of the first videos that pops up. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. And also, hey, hit that subscription button. All right, let's do this. Haven't watched this yet, by the way. I like the music.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another new gameplay today. I am Alex Stadden.
Hi, Alex.
GameInformer's largest video editor. Joined with me today, the incomparable Marcus Stewart.
Hello, I'm GameInformer's most medium-sized editor.
Indeed he is. And then you know him, you love him. He's top 10% in the world in Warzone. Blake Hester.
Gameplay looks very smooth, I will say that.
How you doing?
Right at the top, excited to check out Biomutant.
Like very clean, very smooth.
Yeah, we are looking at Biomutant today. The new open world RPG from Experiment 101.
Very
correct?
stylish too.
Yes, Experiment 101, published by THQ Nordic.
Yep, and you actually got a chance to go hands-on with this, hands-off?
Hands off.
Okay. What'd you think?
I think it's cool. So everything we're seeing here is kind of some edited footage of the hands-off event that I got to see last
Looks
week.
really good.
And yeah, my immediate reaction was, wow, this looks really cool. It needs to come out already because I've been waiting for years for this to happen.
For real, this was announced in what, 2017?
Yeah.
Looks really pretty, I gotta say that.
It's been a minute, yeah. But I'm excited by what I'm seeing for sure.
Is there any specific like lineage to this developer, you know, or are they just like kind of a new double and a half A-ish studio? Do they come from anywhere else? Do we know anything about them?
No, this looks like a little bit of a peek at the dialogue system,
It feels like they like,
or
I think this is their
how you
first
make
project
decisions
that
in
they've seen, as far as I know.
dialogue, I guess.
Yeah,
Sure.
But regardless, we do know it is a smaller team, like Blake said, a more of a AA developer. But it sounds like this has. Wait a minute, that's our logo.
That's true. It's a team of, like, I think they said last I looked, like 21 people. So considering this all looks really good for a team so small. I mean, they've also had a lot of time to work on it. So
That was our NGT logo. We have to talk
I'll
something
start
about
drafting up a cease and desist.
that. Yeah. But you know, as the years
I like
went
the
on,
way
it sounds
the
like this
fur just kind of
development process got
flows
more and
in the
more
wind.
involved, and the scope got bigger. And did they talk about that at all with you, Marcus?
Yeah, or at least they kind of went through just a walkthrough of like the different systems and how big the world is. So as we're kind of seeing here, we're kind of slowing down. We're talking to this weird badger-looking guy. And they broke down like how the world is divided.
Oh,
into,
see,
like,
look at the
7
root.
different biomes, as
let's
you
go
can kinda
back a
see
little bit here. Look at that. That's the root from the tree of life heading over here in this radioactive area. That's really
Different
cool looking.
biomes,
Holy
as you can kind of see here, we got this nice
poison lake.
panoramic shot of the world. We got to look at the combat. We got some story stuff, which is probably the element that is like
Wow.
probably been showed.
I
the
think
least,
I'm gonna
is the
lower this a
narrative
little
stuff.
bit.
Yeah.
And it's basically set in this post-apocalyptic world where it's like this tree of life that kind of, you know, as the name implies, gives life to everything, but it's dying because this oil.
That's a
gets
disgusting,
into the roots,
disgusting
and so they're kind of trying
little
to
lake we got
save
here,
the
river.
tree from withering away, as well as getting rid of these like world eaters that are attacking the tree. But on top of that, the game has like a tribe system where there's 6 different tribes that you can ally yourself with, and depending on how you interact with them, it can, like, the story can go different ways.
That's gonna be really fun. That actually is true. That's something we haven't touched on a lot. They haven't talked about a lot. Is the story as far as it goes for this game. They haven't done much talking about what it's actually going to entail. I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how that pans out because, like, you know, you are going to be able to ally with these different tribes. So in a sense, maybe it's kind of similar, and not the same, obviously, but similar to, like, I guess you'd probably, the best description would be like a Fallout New Vegas kind of thing, where there's all these different factions, but this is a much smaller number, obviously, than compared to New Vegas's factions.
What it sounds like, and that kind of encourages multiple playthroughs. I'm like, I'm going to team up with this tribe and see where that
Oh, you can
goes.
see, like I said before multiple times, when you're developing your character, you can see, like, in the left-hand corner here, just like you can level up and stuff. So, yeah.
As you can see, there's a bunch of different vehicles that you can command, which is also one of the big takeaways I have with this game. Like, you saw the glider earlier. There's a mech suit here that you can find. There's, like,
I'm gonna call him Mechie.
animal mounts that you
Mechie
can
the
get.
suit.
There's that
The
boat
mech
that you
suit.
saw earlier. There's no shortage of ways of getting around in this game.
That's amazing. And judging from the combat here, it looks super fluid, the way you switch between, you know, swords and your physical weapons and your guns.
It does
too.
look really
Like,
smooth.
It looks great, and like the style of it is very interesting.
Very unique style, it is true.
I'm just so curious on how it actually.
It's almost like a comic book come to
feels
life,
play it,
in a
you know?
sense.
I mean, we don't know that yet, but I know
sure.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, like the combat's like heavily based in martial arts, so it's got like a full combo system, and then your weapons also have combos too. You craft your weapons.
Yeah, I've
from,
seen
like,
that
different
before
parts,
too.
So like they can have different properties.
I like this
including,
climbing.
elemental stuff,
What?
Like fire and ice. And what's really cool is that you can create.
I
up to
love
5
me some
different mounts,
verticality in
which
my
includes
games, let me
your,
tell you
like,
that.
armor sets as well, and you can swap between all 5 of them on the fly at any time.
Oh wow.
So it saves a lot.
Wait,
of
what did
time
he say
going into
there?
menus and
Something about
stuff.
armor?
And here's a cool.
So yeah,
little
this is what
part.
happens when you're doing a React video. You're talking over the guy and you can't hear him. I was just saying that I really like the climbing and whatnot. That's really, really smooth. Almost looks like, I don't want to say it's like a similar to more recent memory, obviously, be like the Ghost of Tsushima kind of thing, but
Which includes your like armor sets as well, and you can swap between all 5 of them on the fly at any time.
Oh wow.
So it saves a lot of time going into menus and stuff. And here's a cool little part.
Yeah.
Where, in addition to the
that's
giant
one of the things I
world,
have
there's an
issue
entire
with when it comes to
underground.
RPGs
There is
sometimes.
kind
It's
of
just like
sewer.
when it comes to like, if you spend too much time in the menu, that's no good, man. It's just like I'm doing more menu management than I'm actually playing.
network that you can explore.
Interesting.
You see him walking around here, and as you saw earlier, there's a bunch of different objectives in the world. They emphasize talking to NPCs is important because not only will it give you missions, but they'll point you towards like kind of hidden entrances to like dungeons and caves and rewards
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, good. Like an RPG.
And also you just gotta talk to them because they're just weird and interesting.
Yeah.
And there's also a system called Aura, which is basically a morality system where they stress it's like not quite good and evil. It's more like light and dark. In that, you know, there's a bunch of different choices you'll make through the game. The tribe stuff kind of plays into that in terms of how you interact with people. And then if you talk to characters that have a similar aura, your interactions with them will be easier. And, you know, the opposite's true. If you have someone that has conflicting aura, you can still deal with them, but it'll be just
Yeah,
different.
so that's something that I think can go good or bad depending on how it's implemented. Because I think sometimes with morality systems, depending on it, it can kind of force you into kind of a binary choice situation where there may not be necessarily a good or bad choice. I don't know how it's going to apply here, but I do get wary when they say there's a morality system in the strict sense of like, oh, it's one or the other, like, because there are areas in between where it's not so simple.
For sure. So I know you said your choices kind of change the game in certain ways. Are there multiple endings to this? Have they said?
Yeah, so they said there's 2 major endings for the main story, but the tribe stuff kind of has its own kind of meta narrative that
Okay.
can conclude in a bunch of different ways depending on like just how you go about dealing with the different tribes.
Okay.
But yeah, the main story has 2 different endings.
Yeah, so it's not unsimilar to like a Witcher or other type of game that has those kind of choices where it'll have multiple endings, but obviously within those endings there's all these different permutations of how things happen, which really exciting. That's kind of what I hope for in these kind of games.
So you saw that little grasshopper thing? We saw it a little earlier. That's called an automaton, and you collect those throughout the game. And basically, they're like a little robot that you can send into areas that you can't access, and they'll find like rewards as well as like even quests for you. and so we just found a rare version of one there. So those are
I don't really understand how they're gonna work, but I'm excited to
Marcus,
try it.
Were you able to get an impression on whether or not this game is set in the CBFDCU, the Conker's Bad Fur Day Cinematic Universe?
You know, I sent some questions to them. I did not include that one, but I think I can get them on the horn confirmed because I could see that.
Hey,
It
shout
also
out to the
reminds me
person who
actually
wants to
of
create
a
a Conker.
Scrappy or Ratchet
I see you. I saw you there. There you go.
making a way too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The
We can hope.
wacky weapons that you have, and then of course the protagonist being this weird amalgamation of like a cat, raccoon.
Just the
dog,
mounts are
whatever
so
you
bizarre.
want
I
it to
think
be.
we saw one in like the
The fur
World
looks
trailer.
great. I don't
It's like a mechanical kind of mount, and then you see like this creature, and there's so many different ways you can traverse the world.
think we've called that out yet. There was a close-up of one of the player characters earlier in the footage, and the fur is amazing. This
It does
game
look really
looks
pretty.
fantastic.
Even as for
color
like a
palette is
PS4 or Xbox
great,
One game, it
too.
really
This
does look really
looks-
pretty.
I guess no shade absolutely whatsoever, but like I wasn't expecting to look this good. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
I'm like the lighting looks great, the particle effects. I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, it does look
I also
really
love
good.
The character designs, like everything in this game, just looks so weird. Like look at this big guy here. He's like a big leopard-looking guy.
But that's what makes it so unique is that it's
And
weird.
it feels like there's a level
Like
of,
what?
I know it's kind of cliche at this point in games, but it's like it feels like there's a level of customization and personalization where I feel like my character is going to look vastly different than like either one of your guys' too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
there's a bunch
can't-
of,
I
like,
can't
when you
see
make
why
a
people are
character,
sleeping on
you
this
can
game.
change
Like,
the
look at
fur
it.
patterns
Looks
and
so
colors.
cool.
There's a barber in the game that you can go to that can alter that as well. Like you can have like a neon purple-looking dude if you want. And you can kind of see
Like,
combat
what
there.
other game are you gonna fight some
So,
giant
Blake, this
leopard
will speak to you.
creature
We'll
kind
see
of
it in a
guy?
second, but
Come on.
This game has bullet time. I know you're a big Max Payne 3 guy.
Oh wow, I do love Max. Excited
this
to
is-
check that out.
Yeah, this is basically Max Payne 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's set in the
I'm
same
sorry,
universe as
look at-
Max Payne.
There it is.
There you go,
That's
folks.
Awesome.
Max Payne
I was
fans out
thinking
there.
Earlier, this gets away from the bullet time aspect a little bit, but some of the combat, the melee combat, kind of looks like a slowed down Devil May Cry, like a later entry.
Yeah, it's
Devil
been
May
compared to
Cry 5,
Devil
I
May
guess,
Cry
is an
before
apt
as well.
comparison. Like, if you just slowed that combat down, you kind of have what we're looking at here. Does it? Did
Look
you
at
get
that.
a sense of
Another,
how deep that combat
it's another
was?
like gliding kind of mount.
Kind of like hacking and slashing.
It depends on your weapon. So
Hmm.
what I understand, the weapons all have different combos tied to them, and that like it's both melee and guns. So
Hmm.
it's almost like depending on what you decide to make, because you can craft anything in the game. Like you'll see later that you can make weapons from different parts. Oh, so here's an important thing. So the biomes all have different kind of like environmental hazards to them. Like there's this radioactive zone that you can see, and it's kind of represented in all purple. There's like other areas that are kind of like neon green, so it's like a visual representation of like
Oh,
this
awesome.
zone isn't great. And you see the
Yeah.
little counter up in the thing rising. So like in the beginning of
Okay.
the game, you decide your resistance to.
So that's how
certain
long you can
elements, like
last
there's
before you start getting
radioactivity, there's,
damaged.
cold, heat, and I think biohazard's the last one.
Okay.
And depending on how high your resistance is, the longer you can last in that zone. And then, throughout the game, you'll get skill points that you can use to raise your resistances to certain areas, as well as you can collect like armor or even vehicles that can help you traverse through an area.
Yeah.
And eventually you can achieve 100% resistance, so you can explore an area penalty free. But for a lot of the game, you can last in areas for a certain amount of time, but definitely not. I almost said definitely not indefinitely, but that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
But you get the
This
idea.
the
So
weapon
it's
customization
sort
looks
of a
just
way
like
of, like-
very like, how do you say, very in depth. Like the weapon looks almost completely different from when they started. That's
soft
that's what I
gating,
really
you
like.
can't stay in this
I
area
don't
for
like this whole like
long, but, the
customization where
more
it just kind of
resistance
looks
you
the
get to it,
same,
you
but
can.
just
For
with
sure.
different
It's
stats.
It's funny because like you'll start puking if you're in a radioactive zone for too long.
Oh, yum.
Love that.
Love to see it. And then finally, we got a taste of a little something new that they hadn't announced yet.
Yeah, so they're gonna see in a little bit,
Whoa.
but there's a photo mode there. We're gonna see it a little shortly, but yeah, this game has a photo
So
mode.
clearly, I
Yay,
need to see
finally.
everyone's characters
And it's
posted
all there, little
online.
Ratchet and Clank
Come on,
propeller backpack,
you need-
because, again,
you need
this
to show
game's
me.
all about traversal and letting you have as many ways as possible of moving around. I like that little thing there, that little
Oof.
dash,
Yeah.
that little fire square there to.
Yeah, the
back.
combat looks awesome.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah. I was not.
Really, no
I'm
two people are going to be
so-
playing this
I'm
game
so
the
in
same,
on
it
this
looks
game.
like. I think this is going to be the
Yeah.
sleeper hit of the
I like
summer.
weird
But
onomatopoeia too, like the
I
weird
could be
words that
wrong,
pop up,
and it
it's
could be
not like
terrible, but
pow,
hey,
biff, it's like weird stuff.
it looked good, I don't know.
Like cursed beaver.
I'll eat my words when the time comes.
Stone. It's like I don't know what these words mean.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's the photo mode.
Right here. It's cool,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Every game should have a photo
Love
mode.
me some
It's
photo mode.
fantastic. So, well, that was a pretty good look. But if you want a little bit more, we have another side video that shows off the character creator. So be check that.
Wow.
Check that out. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Wow. It just looks really good. Now, obviously, I don't mean to overhype it, but it just looks really good. It feels like it's going, or at least seems like it's going to play really fluid. I'm really excited. We're probably not going to talk too much about the game anymore after this. Then I said that about the last video, but whatever. So we've looked at the character creator, we looked at the gameplay, looked at the skills and leveling up, or talked about them at least. So now all we got to do is just hold on tight for another few weeks until it comes out. And yeah, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed the video. Oh, if you didn't, well, that's okay too. Just give it a thumbs up if you liked it, give it a thumbs down if you didn't, and I'll see you all later. And remember one thing, most of all, I love you. Maybe.